Okay, so you each get your own plastic pipette. Why do you think I'm doing that for?
Cross-contamination.
Cross-contamination. You want to prevent contamination. So if you use one of these for each one of your samples and each one of your standards, then that's much better on your end. So
schools in the county of New Hanover are competing against each other. Using the HPLC device, we are looking for different compounds or chemicals in various items, and our team has chosen to test for antibiotics in different chicken breasts.
Most people don't realize about the chicken they eat is that some advertisers say that they don't have antibiotics or it's low in antibiotics, and we found that some of them may be false advertising, and we'd like to actually test their products.
So you take the cap of it off, and you take your pipette, suck it down into your sample or your standard, fill it full to the top, and then just put the lid back on and make it finger tight. Don't over tighten it because you'll strip it.
It's just interesting to see if the chicken breast will have antibiotics in them, because antibiotics in our food supply is way more common than the antibiotics that we are prescribed. Using antibiotics in the food industry is really popular right now, and it can contribute to a lot of issues that are, popular to debate about, like antimicrobial resistance. So we're getting a lot of pathogens that will not, be treated with antibiotics. So we're getting superbugs now.
Number 2, 3.
I think with our findings, we'll be able to find something that everybody will relate to. Like, many people eat chicken, and they don't know what antibiotics can do, and if it's found in their chicken and food they normally eat, they need to be aware of it.
They aren't using it to fight infection, they're using it to speed growth. It actually speeds the growth rate of the whatever the organism is that they're feeding it to, which is, kind of cheating nature.
So this guy is just the eyeballs of the machine. So when you pump your caffeine through it, it's going to see the caffeine that comes out of the other end.
We were programming the computer over there so it will run each sample that we have so we can see the antibiotics or the coffee content and caffeine content and what our samples were providing.
Tree 2, yep, goes to the right. And then tree 1. Okay.
The unique opportunity in the Chemtechathon competition is probably being a high school student that is able to work in a lab at a college setting with this equipment that's like really advanced. So that's an interesting thing for us to be able to do.
I actually like hands-on activities because you get a depth of knowledge that you wouldn't if you were just looking at like how it works, like with a video or something.
In our chemistry lab last semester, most of the sophomores at our school took chemistry. We weren't really able to do a lot of experiments because we don't have a ton of lab equipment.
We could measure it and then just go ahead and put water in it so it would be easier to transfer into the volumetric
But the
class.
thing is, can you pour that in there? Will that work?
Hopefully, by the end of the process, I'll walk away with more knowledge and be very excited about chemistry, so I can take some classes at Cape Fear later, and then in college at another university, and maybe I'll be inspired to get a degree in chemistry or go into the field. Okay, so over here we're chopping up the chicken into pieces, like into 8 pieces, and then we have to blend it. Centrifuging comes next over here, where it separates the liquid from some of the fat and other things in it. And then it goes over here and we filter it with a buffer solution. You have to filter it because the HPLC machine is super sensitive, and we want to have like all of the pieces of chicken, even the really fine pieces, out of it. Right now they're using the super fine filter. Sometimes we use the glass filters, and then you work your way to the finer filter to get all of the pieces out of the solution.
We predicted that the Tyson brand from Walmart would have a higher parts per million of tetracycline than the Harris Teeter. just because the Walmart probably produces their chicken in like a larger number than Harris Teeter. We then tested them, and we did find that our hypothesis was correct. And I was actually surprised. I know at the beginning I thought we would find tetracycline in the chicken samples, but I didn't think we would find as much as we did.
Sorry, I'm in the way. Let me speak down. I can see through you.
It means that there's antibiotics that the farmers feed the chicken, and that is getting caught up in your food now. And with long exposure to these antibiotics, it can cause antibiotic resistance. So if you need those antibiotics for say you have a disease or something, and you need those antibiotics, they're going to resist any antibiotics the doctors prescribe to you. The FDA regulation for tetracycline in chicken is 2.0, and we actually found 12.0, but then we realized that our units were off, so we had to do further calculations, and it brought them closer to the FDA regulations.
I would feel very proud that someone would be going off of what we said, because it makes me feel like I've contributed to something to make somebody feel safer, to more confident of what they eat, or how they were, like if they were to do the experiment, that they would have something to go off of.
Prior to the Chemtechathon, I was thinking I was going to go into culinary arts and everything, but within doing the experiment, I found that I have a joy for chemistry, and I have changed my career path to chemical engineering now.